The new tank Mauga was just released, and you can dominate with him if you just use these 3 simple tricks. What I'm about to tell you is both easy to understand and implement into your gameplay, yet it could greatly increase your impact and will win you more games. So make sure to stick around as you don't want to miss this. To begin with, let's have a look at Mauga's guns, and with the help of this tip, you can not only increase your damage output, but also stay alive longer. As you know, Mauga actually has 2 weapons, Gunny and Cha-Cha, but unlike what you may first expect, they actually do 2 very different things. But understanding how to combine the 2 effectively is the key to success. Gunny, aka his primary fire, is the one which burns targets. When Mauga was announced, it sounded like you needed to hit headshots for this effect to activate. However, this is not the case. Instead, you simply need to hit an enemy with 10 shots in relatively quick succession. In fact, headshots don't even speed this up, as it takes 10 shots regardless of where you hit the other player. This fire damage is fine and just gives you that small damage boost, but that isn't what really matters. Here comes the actually important part though, as Cha-Cha deals guaranteed critical damage to burning targets. This means your secondary fire will actually deal double damage after you've hit just 10 shots with your primary. And considering that the base DPS per gun is already at 90, this means Cha-Cha will be hitting for 180 damage per second. But why does this even matter? If you just fire both weapons at once, you'll naturally get that burn and then the automatic crits. Well, while this is true for close range, anything past that calls for use of just one gun at a time, due to the reduced spread that it gives you. So, when firing at range, you can still do some pretty heavy damage if you just alternate between your 2 weapons. First you burn with left click, and then you crit with right click, and then you repeat. Not only will this increase your damage output, but it also has another purpose, keeping you alive. This is all thanks to your passive, which gives you up to 150 overhealth when you get crits. So if you alternate your guns properly, you'll be getting more crits, which thereby gives you more overhealth, which thereby keeps you alive. Very helpful considering your huge hitbox and now you have no direct ways of protecting yourself. On top of that, if you increase your damage output, you'll be getting more healing from the lifesteal during cardiac overdrive. As you can tell, comboing Mauga's guns properly is crucial, but so is how you use his ult. You see, Cage Fight has a very long charge time, so knowing how to use it once you do have it is key. I say that because this ult can be very two-sided. Either you win the fight or you die almost immediately. That's why running straight at the other team and cage fighting on top of all of them isn't often the best play, even though it may first seem to be so. When you do that, you're effectively just putting yourself out in the open, and relatively easy to annihilate since you draw everyone's focus. At that point, it usually just comes down to a battle of healing, which of course you can win, but this recklessness definitely isn't the best way to utilize your ultimate. In reality, Cage Fight's power comes from isolating opponents and splitting up the enemy team. This then allows you to easily eliminate a couple of enemies and then win the rest of the fight from there. What I realized is that one of the best uses of this ult is actually to just use it on 1 or 2 people in the front line, like a tank and a DPS, since the cage blocks off any healing they can receive and prevents them from getting away. Obviously be careful with things like life field pulling people out, but for the most part the supports will be helpless in saving their teammates. Another strat is to try and isolate the supports, but be careful of this as if you don't kill them quickly enough, the other enemies could opt to enter the cage fight and corner you, since it only blocks exit but doesn't prevent entry. However, you can try to be a little smarter with your timing, for example using the cage to save your team from an ulting Genji and easily picking them off. There isn't any one way to use it for all situations, but hopefully this helps you get significantly more value from it overall. For the final tip of this video, I'll actually be discussing both of Mauga's regular abilities. He's still only been out for a couple of days, so I don't have any concrete tips for him yet, but I believe I may still be able to give some useful insight. His first ability is Overrun, where he charges forward and then stomps down. This has a lot packed into it, including some useful text with jumping over gaps which is slightly bigger than you could otherwise clear. However, the main thing I'll say is to not just run straight into the enemy team with it. You may not die whilst using it thanks to the damage reduction and crowd control immunity, but unless your team can work some magic, you'll likely die within a few seconds afterwards due to being far out of position. Instead, try to use it a bit more strategically to stun and kill a single target, get out of certain artifacts to the CC immunity, or sometimes charge back to build for your team. Be careful with that last one though, as you don't want to give up space on the front line unless absolutely necessary. When it comes to cardiac overdrive, this ability is actually quite powerful, but comes with a relatively long cooldown. The issue is that you sometimes end up instinctively using it when you take some damage to try and heal yourself back up, even though you aren't in any real danger and your supports are right there. Therefore, you'll want to be a little more cautious for when to use it so that you can get the maximum healing value by spraying their tank when you really need it, or maybe the damage reduction may just about save a teammate. However, despite the power of this ability, it definitely doesn't make you invincible. Especially if the enemy has a way of preventing you from doing damage, whether that's a shield, defense matrix, or just small hitboxes combined with playing at range, you can just explode if you walk out into their line of fire without any cover. Also, watch out for Anna because just like Hog, she can really ruin your day. I hope these tips help you on your Mauga journey. As I said, it's still very early, so once I get some deeper insight into his kit, I may make another video about it. Now you can go and try Mauga out in game, but if you didn't buy him or just don't feel like playing Overwatch right now, why not watch this video next? I'll see you there.